Imagine a mystery buried at the bottom of the ocean for over 2,000 years, only to be unexpectedly revealed in the early 20th century. An ancient device with intricate gears and a design that even modern science finds astonishing. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, an invention that could change the way we view ancient Greek civilization. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera Island, this ancient computer had the ability to predict solar and lunar eclipses and the movement of planets, something humanity wouldn't rediscover until thousands of years later. But why did such advanced technology disappear and remain forgotten? The unanswered questions still hang in the air, and the mystery of the Antikythera Mechanism continues to captivate scientists and explorers alike. Join us as we uncover the strange journey of one of humanity's greatest inventions. In 1900, a group of Greek sponge divers from the island of Symi accidentally discovered the wreck of an ancient ship near the island of Antikythera, while seeking shelter after a violent storm. This was no ordinary shipwreck. What they found would soon become one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. Initially, diver Elias Stadiatis was the first to descend and encountered what he believed were human corpses lying at the bottom of the sea. However, upon closer inspection, he realized they were actually bronze and marble statues scattered among the debris of the sunken ship. Captain Dimitrios Kondos, after verifying Elias's discovery, directed the recovery of a portion of one statue, a bronze arm that had been badly corroded by the seawater over time. Recognizing the scale and significance of the find, the Greek government officially organized an underwater excavation from 1900 to 1901 with support from the Hellenic Navy. During the recovery process, they retrieved a wealth of valuable artifacts, including bronze and marble statues, exquisite glassware, jewelry, ancient pottery, and most notably, a corroded lump of bronze and wood, a mysterious object that would later become known as the Antikythera Mechanism. At the time of its discovery, the object appeared to have little obvious value. It was just a small moss-green fragment of bronze that was difficult to identify. But archaeologist Valerio Stace, upon examining it closely, noticed something unusual: tiny gear wheels hidden within the corroded structure. This was a shocking revelation, as the presence of such intricate gears was entirely unexpected in an artifact dating to around 70 BCE. The complexity of the internal structure suggested that this was no mere decorative item or ordinary tool. After decades of research, aided by increasingly advanced technology, scientists confirmed that the Antikythera Mechanism was in fact a sophisticated mechanical device capable of modeling the movements of celestial bodies, including the sun, the moon, and the known planets of the time. It is now considered an ancient astronomical computer designed to predict solar and lunar eclipses as well as other astronomical phenomena. The Antikythera Mechanism profoundly altered the modern scientific understanding of the technological capabilities of the ancient Greeks. Until then, it was widely believed that complex mechanical constructs like geared devices only appeared in the medieval period. But this mechanism, with its intricate structure and high degree of precision, demonstrated that ancient civilizations had already achieved a remarkable level of technological sophistication, one that humanity would not replicate for many centuries. After its recovery, the Antikythera Mechanism was brought to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where it remains preserved and under active study to this day. Immediately after its discovery in the early 20th century, the Antikythera Mechanism attracted the attention of many archaeologists and scientists, yet it also caused considerable confusion. With its intricate gears found inside the corroded bronze mass, the device quickly became a major mystery, far beyond any known understanding of ancient technology. The research journey of this device spans over a century, passing through multiple stages with significant advancements. Early stage, 1900 to 1906. Once the device was brought to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, scholars began studying it, but most of their conclusions remained speculative. With limited knowledge and no supporting technology, there were suspicions that the device could be a maritime navigation instrument or an astronomical tool. One of the first to offer a clearer approach was the philologist Albert Rane. Around 1905 to 1906, he boldly suggested that the device was an astronomical instrument related to a parapegma, a star calendar, and contained epicyclic gears, gears mounted on other gears, a highly complex mechanism that was unexpected for ancient technology. Although many of Rame's hypotheses about its specific function were inaccurate, he is credited with being the first to identify the device's astronomical nature. Mid-stage, 1950s to 1970s. In the mid-20th century, research on the Antikythera mechanism was revived thanks to the interest of American science historian Derek de Solla Price. He was a pioneer in using X-ray technology to investigate the internal structure of the device without damaging the artifact. This allowed him to uncover several details about the gear system and begin to identify its connection to astronomical cycles, especially the Meton cycle, a 19-year lunar cycle used to calculate the lunar calendar. Although Price's reconstruction model was somewhat complex and contained several errors, his work was a significant turning point. It not only confirmed that the device could predict astronomical phenomena, but it also laid the groundwork for subsequent modern studies. Modern research, 2005-present. A major leap occurred in 2005 when an interdisciplinary research team led by Dr. Tony Freeth, consisting of both British and Greek scientists, began a project to reanalyze the Antikythera mechanism using modern technology. They utilized high-resolution 3D X-ray imaging and digital imaging technology developed by Tom Mausbender to analyze the 82 surviving fragments of the device. The research findings revealed that the device not only modeled the movement of the sun and moon, but it also predicted solar and lunar eclipses based on the Saros cycle, a cycle of approximately 223 lunar months, equivalent to 18 years, used by the ancient Babylonians. Additionally, the team deciphered several inscriptions on the device, illuminating functions that had been hidden for millennia. These discoveries proved that the Antikythera mechanism was a mechanical masterpiece ahead of its time, an ancient astronomical computer crafted over 2 millennia ago. The Antikythera mechanism is considered the first astronomical computer of humanity, a sophisticated mechanical device crafted around the 1st century BC. It was not only an astronomical observation tool, but also a device capable of calculating, predicting, and simulating astronomical phenomena with incredible accuracy, based on the astronomical knowledge of both Babylonian and ancient Greek civilizations. At the heart of the device is a complex gear system designed to simulate the movements of the sun, the moon, and potentially the planets. These movements are not simply represented but calculated based on precise astronomical cycles, including the Meton cycle, 19 years, and the Saros cycle, 223 lunar months. This mechanism enabled users to determine the times of solar and lunar eclipses in the future. One of the most remarkable features of the Antikythera mechanism is its ability to simulate the varying motion of the moon. Since the moon's orbit around the Earth is elliptical rather than perfectly circular, its speed is not uniform. To replicate this variation, ancient designers used an epicyclic gear system, gears mounted on other gears, combined with a mechanism known as the pin and slot system, a technical breakthrough that can be considered a precursor to many mechanical technologies later on. This mechanism also had the ability to predict solar and lunar eclipses. Greek letters, such as the symbol Eta for solar eclipses, and Sigma for lunar eclipses, were clearly inscribed on the device's dials. As the gears turned in their cycles, they indicated when these phenomena would occur. This was not merely an observation tool, but an accurate astronomical calendar for the user. Additionally, although part of the device has been lost or damaged, many researchers believe that the Antikythera Mechanism once had the capability to display the positions of the known planets of the time, including Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. This was based on the complex astronomical models of ancient Greece, which were influenced by Babylonian planetary cycles. Although the planetary mechanism is no longer present, indirect evidence from the structure and remaining inscriptions suggests a clear design intent. In summary, the Antikythera Mechanism is not only an ancient mechanical masterpiece, but also a symbol of the deep understanding the ancient Greeks had of the universe. It is a blend of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, all encapsulated in a small device that has the potential to change our view of the history of science and technology. The Antikythera Mechanism is one of the most groundbreaking archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, not only due to its mechanical complexity, but also because of the profound questions it raises about the origins, technological advancements, and intellectual networks of ancient Greece. Although the device was found on a shipwreck dating back to around 60 to 70 BC, many researchers believe the device itself may have been created much earlier. Dr. Tony Freeth, leader of the modern research team on the Antikythera Mechanism, argues that the device could have been made as early as the late 3rd century BC. This conclusion is based on the analysis of the astronomical cycles encoded in the mechanism, particularly the eclipse cycle beginning around 205 BC. This suggests the device was programmed well before the ship carrying it sank, possibly more than a century earlier, and may have been passed down through generations before being lost at sea. An important historical piece of evidence supporting this theory comes from the writings of the Roman philosopher and statesman Cicero. He describes several sophisticated mechanical devices capable of simulating the movements of celestial bodies, created by Greek scholars such as Archimedes and Posidonius. Although no direct connection has been found, many scholars believe the Antikythera Mechanism could be a direct descendant of these designs, or at least part of a tradition of creating complex astronomical devices that existed in ancient Greece. The existence of this device points to a level of technical development that was once thought impossible in antiquity. The Antikythera Mechanism required the combination of various expertise: astronomers to calculate and establish cosmic cycles, mathematicians to design gear ratios, and skilled artisans to craft the intricate mechanical details down to the millimeter. Some of the gears in the device have up to 60 teeth, cut with high precision, allowing smooth and accurate operation in simulating astronomical movements. Even the inscriptions on the device, mainly instructions and astronomical notes, are carved in letters just about 1.6 millimeters in size, showing the meticulous craftsmanship and advanced engraving techniques of the ancient artisans. Although over a century has passed since the Antikythera Mechanism was discovered, research and exploration surrounding it continue to expand. In recent years, the Return to Antikythera archaeological project, carried out by Greek researchers, has returned to the wreck site off the coast of Antikythera Island to search for more clues. However, despite finding additional valuable artifacts, they have not uncovered any further fragments of the mysterious mechanical device. According to Dr. Tony Freeth, the likelihood of finding more fragments is very low. He believes that any remaining pieces, if they exist, may have been completely corroded after more than 2,000 years under the sea, especially since copper, the material of the device, is highly susceptible to decay in salty water environments. However, Thanks to modern technologies such as 3D X-ray imaging and digital imaging analysis, Freed's team, along with designer David Higgin, has developed a complete theoretical model of the Antikythera mechanism. This model not only accurately simulates the gears and dials, but also reproduces the astronomical movements according to the cycles. Yet, this remains a digital or theoretical model. There is still no physical version fully constructed according to this design. Meanwhile, another model created by Michael Wright, an independent engineer and researcher, has been assembled and is operational. However, this model does not perfectly match the latest archaeological evidence and has not fully recreated all the functions that Freed's team proposes. The process of recreating this device, even at modern levels, faces significant technical challenges. One of the biggest difficulties is manufacturing the extremely thin coaxial tubes, only about 1 millimeter thick, that were used to display the various rotations or indicators on the device's dials. Recreating these details in ancient times would have been nearly impossible without highly sophisticated craftsmanship and tools, leading many to marvel at the mechanical expertise of ancient Greeks. While many questions remain unanswered, the ongoing research and efforts to reconstruct the Antikythera mechanism not only help us understand the device better, but also shed light on a glorious era of ancient science and technology. The relentless curiosity of today's scientists is the bridge bringing the past to life in the modern world. The Antikythera mechanism is not only an ancient mechanical masterpiece, but also a symbol of the remarkable development of scientific and technical knowledge in ancient Greece, something humanity did not believe to be true for many centuries. With its ability to simulate the movement of the sun, moon, and planets and predict solar and lunar eclipses, this device proves that ancient Greek civilization possessed a profound understanding of astronomy and mathematics, particularly in applying celestial cycles to practical use. The existence of the Antikythera mechanism has prompted modern science to raise many important questions. Why was such a complex technology not further developed? Why was there no continuation or widespread application leading to an industrial revolution in ancient times? One hypothesis is that Greek society lacked a practical, applied mindset. Science and philosophy were regarded as subjects for abstract thought rather than solving real-world problems. Additionally, the Greeks did not develop linear progressive thinking, the idea that each generation would improve and build upon the achievements of the previous one. As a result, much knowledge and many inventions were interrupted, lost, and did not serve as a foundation for a technological revolution like the one that took place in modern times. The famous science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke once remarked that if technologies like the Antikythera mechanism had continued to develop, the history of science and technology could have advanced centuries faster. According to him, humanity might even have traveled to the stars thousands of years ago if such technological seeds had been nurtured and expanded. While Clarke's view is speculative, it is not without merit when considering the device's accuracy and complexity, which wasn't replicated in Europe until the 14th and 15th centuries through astronomical clocks. Furthermore, the Antikythera mechanism suggests that the ancient Greeks had developed concepts of trigonometry much earlier than previously thought. A prime example is Hipparchus's chord table, a mathematical tool used to calculate trigonometric values, considered the precursor to modern sine tables. However, manually calculating complex trigonometric functions was time-consuming and prone to errors. The Antikythera mechanism, with its precise gear system and ability to visually simulate astronomical cycles, effectively simplified this process, serving as an early example of automation in ancient science. Today, this device is not only a subject of archaeological or historical research, but also a symbol that sparks imagination and admiration for a civilization that was very close to the principles of modern science, only to suddenly fade away in the mists of history. The unanswered questions left by the Antikythera mechanism continue to inspire researchers to delve deeper into the untapped potential of humanity in ancient times. The discovery of the Antikythera mechanism has not only opened the door to a deeper understanding of ancient science and technology, but it has also raised significant questions about how humanity preserves and passes on knowledge through time. Recent excavations at the Antikythera shipwreck site, particularly in 2012 and 2015, have uncovered additional valuable artifacts, indicating that this maritime area still holds potential for unlocking unsolved mysteries. Each item found is not merely a piece of archaeological evidence, but could be the key to further explaining the origins and purpose of this remarkable device. Knowledge doesn't only reside at the bottom of the sea. Ancient wisdom may also be forgotten in museums worldwide. It's highly likely that many fragments or items similar to the Antikythera mechanism lie quietly in storage, overlooked due to the limitations of previous technology. With advancements in modern analytical tools such as 3D X-ray imaging or digital image processing, many artifacts once considered insignificant could be rediscovered and reanalyzed, leading to unexpected breakthroughs in understanding the past. Another important aspect is the ancient texts. For centuries, descriptions of strange machines were considered either mythical or religious metaphors, like the astronomical devices mentioned by Cicero, Archimedes, or Heron of Alexandria. However, the actual existence of the Antikythera mechanism shows that these accounts may have reflected real technologies, and we need to seriously reconsider ancient sources rather than dismiss them as mere legends. More importantly, the Antikythera mechanism leaves a profound lesson for the modern world. While a civilization can achieve extraordinary technical accomplishments, if knowledge is not recorded, shared, and maintained within an appropriate cultural and social ecosystem, everything can still be lost. This device is a vivid reminder that even a great invention can be buried and forgotten for over 2 millennia. In today's context, where technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate, the Antikythera mechanism serves as a serious reminder. We cannot take the preservation of knowledge for granted. If not maintained in the right political, educational, and cultural environment, even the most modern achievements can fade away, just like the ancient computer that almost remained forgotten beneath the sea.